From the new recording lair located deep beneath the Wine and Spirit store in Ephrata, Pennsylvania.
You're listening to the Masonic Light Podcast.
Studio 665 presents Masonic Light Podcast. This show is recorded by Masons, for Masons, and is for entertainment purposes only. And please, no wagering.
This podcast is not endorsed by any Grand Lodge, and the ridiculous ramblings of the hosts are their own. And now, here's your host.
Hey now. Episode 126 of Masonic Light Podcast.
Six.
Wait. Recount.
127.
Episode 127.
127.
100.27.
1.27.
Larry,
153.
you got nothing. Larry, go back to sleep, Larry. Never mind.
Snooze.
So, welcome everybody. We are going to have a good show tonight.
Yes, we are.
Whenever Larry wakes up.
What are you writing on?
Some old Bible. 200 years old, they said.
There's these are notices that you would mail 200 years ago to.
Am I going to have to kill him?
Yes.
What are you writing on?
Pete gave it to me. I don't know.
I'm not defacing it.
665.
Circa 1943.
Yeah. Look,
Give me that.
This is ancient history.
What is it?
Why in the world?
We extend an invitation to you to attend a stated... Oh, this is it. Wow.
What year? There's a box of 1,000 of them. They're not worth anything.
1950. Come on.
Well, they were very
Raise your
optimistic.
hand, other than Larry, raise your hand if you were born before 1950.
They were very optimistic. There's 1,000 of them
Wow.
that didn't join.
That's why we haven't used them all.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Masonic Light Podcast. We're going to get back on the rails now. Tonight, we're going to have a wonderful guest, Brother Willie Wrede. We knew Willie from before he was a Mason because his business is kind of unique. He was in the what would you call someone that runs a meadery? Does that have a title?
Is he a meadist?
We're wizards.
Is that like a butcher? A meadery?
Well,
Alrighty then.
it is.
You'll do fine,
Didn't
Willie.
expect that one.
It is Ren Fair season.
Fun night.
Not that kind of wizard, though.
All right. So what we do right here, Willie, we go around and we ask everybody what they've been up to, and nobody really cares, but we keep doing it anyway. So,
Shtick. You got to do shtick.
Tim, what have you been up to Masonically?
Oh, my gosh.
Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Here we go. So since our last... It's actually been 3 weeks since we recorded last.
That's true.
I began the 3-week hiatus by participating in Eureka West Shore Lodge's number 302's banquet. 165 years. I know.
Lima beans.
Yes. No, we had actually it was really good. It was roast beef and something else, and it was at the Susquehanna Club.
It's always about the food.
I know, it's always about the food. But we had like 18 widows that were present, which was really good. No, seriously, that was a great turnout. Ubar Grotto celebrated its 10-year anniversary.
Huzzah.
And I'm just going to leave that right there.
One of us was not there.
It was a good event.
It was a very good
Until the
event. Until the incident.
You know,
And moving on.
I was going to talk about this when it came to me.
All right. Well, I'll leave you the fun.
The
then.
only thing, Larry. Breakfast and Ubar.
Okay.
Those are Larry's thing.
I also attended the Robert Burns banquet. I believe that was their 150th anniversary banquet. Fantastic. Got a special bottle of bourbon that shall go unnamed at that banquet. Have unfortunately participated in several funerals since we were on the air last. The District 3 Low Vale, which was a real fun event out down in Newville, sponsored by Orrstown Lodge. We really appreciate them doing that. Lucius Securitas AMD Council. Fantastic meeting. So again, just chock full of exciting Masonic stuff. And you'll hear a little bit about this later on the news. Been doing a whole lot of trying to help secretaries and treasurers cope with
A new system.
Let's just leave that there.
Brother Jack.
That's it.
Brother Jack, what's up?
I'm trying to. Did we record since Lodge in the Woods?
No.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
No. Yes. No.
Yes,
Yes.
we did.
No.
We did because I remember talking about
Is
it.
the cat alive or dead? I don't know.
We talked about it in our last episode.
Yeah, we did.
So never mind.
There is no cat.
There is. We just had a stated meeting last night. It was very nice. Poorly attended. I'm a little disturbed by that. Usually at Effort Lodge we have a pretty good turnout, but I'm not sure whether it is, 10 continuous days of gray skies that just bummed everybody out and nobody left their homes or what. But
Probably the effort affair residual.
could be. We haven't scraped all the grime off the street yet.
Are all the carnies accounted for? Are they gone?
No, they're buried in a small, shallow grave out west of
But I think
town.
that attendance thing is something that we're going to deal with for a while.
I think you're right. It's people get out of the habit.
Yeah.
It's,
PC post-COVID.
Post-COVID,
Or
exactly.
DC during COVID.
Yeah.
So other than that, the Grotto event was fun. Larry will tell you more about that if he can remember.
He left early.
If we don't, he did. He left early.
But I'm going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Leaving early?
Okay, Larry, you talk about it. You do it. You do it.
Do it.
Yeah. So anyway, Willie, what have you been up to? Masonically speaking, writing checks.
Writing checks. Snapping necks and cashing checks. No.
So you said earlier you're unfortunately on a building committee?
Whole association.
Whole association.
Oh, they sound fun.
It's fun. We get to pay taxes and rent and bills and, all that stuff. And make reports and that kind of thing.
My son calls that adulting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. We have a lot of it set up on like an auto pay now. So I just check, make sure things are going smoothly, so it's even easier.
And what was that account number again? It's 1-800-CALL-LARRY.
2. So yeah, it's kind of fun. Our lodge is actually having a cool raffle that's going on right now. So they're selling raffle tickets. If you wanted to get in on that, there's a lot of sweet prizes and things too. So, but see anybody from Manheim Lodge 587 or talk to your brothers about that, and they can hook you up.
Tell us
with
what
something.
you're giving away.
Promote.
Yeah.
Let me
A Furby.
see if
They're
I
giving
have
away
the
an
actual
original
list.
Furby.
An original Furby.
TY Beanie Baby.
Let me see.
A brick of Velveeta from 72.
So we're giving away cash,
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, even better.
and more cash.
Nice. Those are
very nice.
those are exciting prizes.
Those are
Thank you.
exciting prizes, yeah.
What do we have for the witnesses, Johnny?
Yeah, so it's a 28-day 10K cash giveaway. Yeah, pretty awesome.
Wow. This is just wow.
Larry, what are you up to? What have you been up to besides passing a indistinct brown jug?
Artifice Mead? Okay. Yeah.
That's beer.
What have I been up to? I attended the Grotto meeting, 10th anniversary at John Wright. A plug from John Wright Restaurant. Great place.
And left early.
And it was good. I sat with Brian Hill and Tom LeBon. We had a great dinner together. But unfortunately, I had to leave at 2 o'clock to attend a soccer game in Berks County up in Reading.
You didn't win the raffle, by the way.
No, I didn't win the raffle. I gave you my ticket.
did.
But anyway, I understand that I left with prior to all the festivities taking place.
Yeah, we're not going to go there.
And we're not going to go. No.
Oh,
no.
which? The real festivities.
It was
the
a
good,
real festivity.
yes.
It was a 10-year celebration.
Well,
and
Seth did a good job. Seth
he did a great
yes.
job. He really
Seth
did.
did limericks.
Yes.
Every one of the past monarchs.
Did 10 sets of limericks for all
See,
the
I
past
wish I
ones.
would have been there for that.
Well, that is true. We missed
We
it.
had an initiation.
Of a
Yes,
distinguished
and we
individual.
initiated
The Grand Master
Ta-da.
of Pennsylvania.
Yes,
Right
we
Worshipful
The
Grandmaster.
Right Worshipful Grandmaster Thomas Gammon.
Who has a bourbon named after him?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he
Yes.
does.
And a game with dice and pieces that move around. Yeah.
It was.
So that was one. So
Yeah.
that was good.
Took a minute to get there. Yeah.
Yeah, and Tall Cedars that following Tuesday. A good event, nice event actually. And our stated meeting at Lamberton Lodge the following Tuesday. So we've been busy, to say the least.
How's that merger stuff going?
Actually, we passed two very important things: the terms of agreement for the merger and the bylaws. So
Interesting.
we're moving along.
Okay.
Yes, we're not going to count any chickens before they're hatched, but
Right.
it's looking positive.
That's
Good.
correct.
Good. Good deal. Pete,
So
how about you?
for me, Masonically, I was at Tall Cedars, I was at Grotto, like they said. But I've really been busting my butt because this coming weekend, it'll be past by the time you guys listen to it, is my the Pennsylvania Grotto Association. And I have 4 days left as president of this esteemed organization.
Nothing you're counting.
And just trying to get everything ready. It really is I guess if I was able to delegate things, maybe this is my problem when I was Master too. I was not good at delegating. So I'm just doing it all myself. So the past 3 days I've been buying beer, liquor, food, having games. So my wife has a Prius that has a huge back when you put the seats down. And I've pretty much got this whole thing filled with crap to bring to... and I'm so excited because I'm going to pawn all of the crap off on Ron Davidson from Islam Grotto in Pittsburgh because he's in charge next year.
Nice.
So he can have the 5 cases of liquor that never get drunk and keep getting passed on from master to president to president. There's stuff like cream de menthe with a 1972 pen,
It's vintage now.
sticker
Vintage,
on them.
yeah.
Remember when the liquor store had
Yeah.
stickers? Yeah, so that's it. Brother Josh.
Josh, yeah.
Can I say one thing?
No.
Josh is really good at delegating, just so you know.
I've delegated everything
Yes, you
this
have.
last year.
You've been a master.
A worshipful master.
So we had stated meeting, as Larry said. I had a couple district deputy visitations that I attended. Let's see, what else was there? We had degrees. We did first degree. We did a second degree. The second degree we did over at Columbia Lodge, and Jerry Fretwell from Abraham C. Treichler, he conferred the degree for us, so that worked out. And other than
So the
that,
Lancaster Lodge
yeah,
went to Columbia to
Actually,
have
Wrightsville.
we actually went to
Elizabethtown-
we
Well,
yeah
they
went to
Across
the
the
Columbia
border.
Lodge that meets in Wrightsville to have the Elizabethtown guy do. Okay, never mind.
So I wonder why we're merging.
I got this.
yeah.
In
So
York County.
so we did that. Yeah.
Trying to keep it all
All
straight.
right, well, let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk to our guest, Brother Willie Wrede.
Why choose George J. Grove & Sons for your next home improvement project? At George J. Grove & Sons, we've built our reputation on quality and trust for more than 50 years. From planning to materials to installation, George J. Grove promises a home improvement experience second to none. Whether your goal is reducing energy costs, decreasing maintenance, updating curb appeal, or simply increasing the value of your home, the George J. Grove team will recommend and provide solutions that stand the test of time. Call 717-393-0859 for an estimate or visit us at georgejgrove.com.
And since we're back from being already back, are we back?
We're back.
We're back. And we're back. We're back with Willie Wrede. And Willie came to us a long time ago, actually before he was made a Mason, because he was starting a business that we all thought was just awesome. And Willie, why don't you tell us about how you came across
The
us
old business.
and the first business that became a second business that's now
Sure.
like an empire. So
Thank you. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. So Medulseld Meadery is the first business in Lancaster. We do mead and axe throwing. It's modeled after a Viking mead hall as much as possible. Swords, shields, axes, and stuff on the walls.
Game of Thrones.
Heavy metal music.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
There
People
you go.
love it.
Thor,
But yeah.
Odin's son.
Yeah. And, you guys are aware there was this huge Viking surge in the last few years of popularity. It's pretty crazy. And all that kind of coincided with the start of this business. And it's really
congratulations on having that whole Viking surge made just for you.
At times,
in this business, right?
I don't know how it happened. Everything changed.
Do we
the
have to wear an
laws.
eye patch and have a crow on our shoulder when we walk in?
That's a pirate.
That's Odin. It's a little older than pirates, Larry.
You don't have to, but it's definitely suggested.
It
and
could work
welcome.
for you
Yeah.
if you go there. You could work it. It's a very cool ambiance. It's a very warm kind of place. It's very woody. So yeah, that whole Viking hall thing would be.
So give us the short story on mead. So if you can condense it to like a short wiki.
Mead
article.
101.
Yeah, Mead 101.
Mead 101 it's the oldest alcoholic beverage known to man that we know of based on pottery analysis in graves. It's made from honey. It's fermented honey. So you have to steal the honey from the bees first.
Damn bees.
Yeah.
And not get killed by their
Not
stings.
get killed.
Yeah.
And then you mix that with water, allow that to ferment, and that's mead. From there, you can flavor it with all sorts of stuff. You can mix it with fruits. You can steep herbs and things in it. A lot of different cultures made it their own thing. They have different names for it based on where they are in the world. And so they put different ingredients in it, of course.
Is there a bestseller that you have or like a signature mead that you...
We have several. Red Keep is probably our most popular mead. It's a cherry, blackberry, and apple mead. It's really delicious. Yeah.
How much of a flavor of the flavorings is what you get versus how much of it is the mead itself?
So it depends on what you're going for. Sometimes you can use the honey as the source of the alcohol. So in other words, it all gets fermented out to completion. It's dry. It's now an alcoholic solution. And then you would just add flavors to it because those are the flavors you want to taste. In that way, it's sort of like a seltzer. But if you want a honey-focused or more of a honey-balanced mead or the presence of that honey, then you usually use a nice characterful honey like buckwheat or orange blossom. There's like 300 different varieties of honey around the world.
And do you have sources for all this that you work with? I mean, it must take an immense amount of honey to make any sort of quantity of mead.
It really does. It's interesting when you think about the math involved, and every bee collects about 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in its life cycle.
1/12 of a teaspoon in its life.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's 800...
I really hope there were wasps that I killed yesterday.
Yeah, those are... I also have a thing about wasps too, but yeah. There's, in a gallon of honey, there's almost 800 teaspoons. So we use anywhere from 5 to 5-gallon pails. So we have several 5-gallon pails now that go into our larger batches since we've scaled up production with the second business. And it's pretty crazy.
I'm sorry, they said there would be no math. I can't keep up with
I know.
I'm trying to think
Yeah.
how many bees that is.
That's
that.
a
I was where I was
lot
trying
of
to get,
bees.
and I couldn't get
That's
the
a lot of
denominator was
bees.
per.
And if you multiply that times 6, you have bees' knees.
Oh. I heard that a bee's life cycle is they collect a lot of honey, and then they mate, and then they die. So it's honey, nut, Cheerio.
Hey!
Right.
Sorry. Go ahead, Larry. You were beginning to ask something. Have you forgot? Have you lost that thought?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so one of the most interesting things, and it was kind of right before COVID, so we kind of like, I don't know, all the energy we had to go kind of got knocked out of us. You started doing axe throwing. So you were the first person in the area. So tell us a little bit about that, and was there any objections by the local constabulary or health department?
What could go wrong?
Sounds like a grotto event.
A little bit of the backstory on that is there was an insurance company that shared the first floor. And when they left the space, we had the choice to like take over the rest of the first floor. And so we did. And suddenly we had all this square footage, and we couldn't fill it with enough furniture and everything to take advantage of it because we only had 2 single occupancy bathrooms. It's a whole code thing. So our max occupancy couldn't exceed like 80 people, but yet we had enough for like 145 people. So I said, well, what are we going to do in here? You know, we have all this extra space. Let's think of like some tavern games or pub games or something that will really fit. And darts just didn't really cut it. And
that's too English.
It's a little too English.
Yeah.
So I started Googling around, and I saw axe throwing, and I was like, instantly I knew that was it. Instantly.
Know in your heart.
So my partners, including my wife, she was like, you're insane. We're not going to serve people mead and then have them throw axes. Luckily, we didn't have to like chart this territory ourselves or reinvent the wheel. Like there had been other places in Philly that had axe throwing businesses. So we hopped on a train, a couple of our regulars, me and my brother-in-law, and we shot down to Philly. Before we had our appointment to throw axes, we had stopped at Urban Village, really cool brewery, had some food, had some beers, had some more beer, had some more beer. So we were pretty tuned up by the time we got to throw axes. And it wasn't a problem. They had a safety monitor. You know, he was fun. He coached us how to throw. We had a good time. Everything was safe. And I was like, okay, we can do this. You know, we can do this. So started researching it. And like about 2 weeks later, we were building our range. The funny thing about it was our insurance company was like, we don't know what to do to cover you guys, so I guess it's like darts, and there's no really additional premium.
Big darts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they said, I've
had a dart hit me walking past, because like at Quips, I've walked past and got hit by somebody's dart. But you can't walk past and get hit by the axe because of your safety protocols.
Right. Yeah, it's all fenced in and caged up, and yeah.
I'd love to see the face of the code enforcement officer when he's trying to, looking through the book, like, where is this?
Where's that on the list?
There's not. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what was going on. The Lancaster City was like scratching their head, just like, we don't know how to categorize this. The PLCB was also doing the same thing. We're like, well, this isn't like a games of chance or anything like that. We don't quite know what to do. And I was like, well, okay, you know, it sounds like we can do it then. And they're like, I guess so, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
When the system works, it works.
And you'll probably know the name of this place. I totally forgot because I saw Artie Lang a couple years ago in Harrisburg. And there was a bar around the corner that they had two rooms you could go in. And it was like the diametrically opposed political people at the time. So there was a big portrait of Trump on one side and one of a caricature of Nancy Pelosi on the other side. And when you got done drinking your bottle of beer, you walked in there and you put on your safety glasses and you got to break your bottle of beer on whatever politician you don't like.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. Okay.
So like maybe that if you have any extra square footage, we could work on that.
Yeah. We actually had a lot of people ask us, "Can I put like a picture of my ex up there?" And they're like, "No, you can't do that."
No.
But yeah,
Not officially.
so
while
when
anybody's
the
looking.
news came out on Lancaster Online, every comment was like,
Never read the
"Alcohol and
comments.
axes. What could possibly go wrong? It was just endless." So, but yeah.
Any injuries?
Yes, we have had some injuries. One
He's
of our
not at
axe
liberty to
coaches
discuss
is missing
this.
a leg from a totally unrelated thing. But we always mess with people and say, "Hey, if you don't pay attention, and like point at him,
That's funny.
But we have had some splinters before.
So
Yeah.
comes from the wood, not
splinters.
the axe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
People will get a little bit too rambunctious, like trying to grab the axe and like pull it out of the target. And sometimes they like reach into the splintered wood and like get a couple splinters on their hand. But yeah.
Crazy talk.
Yeah, nothing exciting though.
So we were just talking before the show started that the axe throwing really now is the new bowling, right? It's,
Absolutely.
all these places are popping up. There's all these axe throwing ranges and things are going.
And leagues.
And-
They
and
actually have
leagues.
competitive
Well, you got
leagues.
in ahead of the curve.
And you don't have to wear those shoes. And so we talked about shoes. What's the scoop
Yeah.
on shoes?
We also
Yeah.
talked before the show
Oh, for God's sake.
about the fact that we wished we could have been there tonight
Yeah.
and videoing this, drinking mead and throwing axes.
I think we'll have to do that. Maybe
We're
we
gonna
can
have to do that.
We'll
We could do a
record.
field trip.
We'll record the Moyer show from down there.
Sometimes those are things you don't want to be recorded
There
for
you go.
posterity.
So, okay, Willie, I have a degree in occupational safety and industrial hygiene management. And my recommendation would be that you should at least have safety glasses and closed-toe shoes. And you were mentioning something about the shoes. So if I walked in my 1987
Flip-flop.
Teva sandals with socks on, like Larry, what would you have me do?
We would have you put on the Crocs of shame. Or borrow your friend's shoes if you had a
Crocs of
friend.
shame.
Tell us about the Crocs of shame.
They're size 15, worn out, nasty Crocs that look like they've been walked in cross country and back.
Nice.
And people choose to put them on or not throw. So that's their option, basically. Like, find some closed-toed shoes or wear the Crocs of shame. So, yeah.
All right, well, let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to Willie about more of this junk and his new business, which is beer.
More booze.
More booze.
At the Historic Smithton Inn of Ephrata, Pennsylvania, we're pleased to serve the latest creations from Weathered Vineyard Winery, along with spirits from Thistlefinch Distillery in Lancaster, all to be experienced in the tasting room of a beautifully restored 18th century bed and breakfast. Cigars by D&S Cigar are available for your enjoyment in the courtyard. The Historic Smithton Inn is convenient to Lancaster County's most interesting attractions. Just minutes from the Ephrata Cloister and the Green Dragon Farmers Market. And a short drive can get you to charming Lidditz, thriving downtown Lancaster, as well as Hershey, Bird in Hand, and Intercourse. Or Valley Forge and Gettysburg. Whether you're looking for a romantic getaway or an active vacation full of sightseeing and attractions, the Historic Smithton Inn will be a welcoming oasis from everyday life, one that you'll want to visit again and again. Stop in and visit at 900 West Main Street in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, or check out our website at historicsmithtoninn.com, or simply call us at 717-733-6094. Just ask for Passmaster Dave.
And we're back with our special guest, Willie Wrede. And Willie, you're also, you expanded from the Meadery in downtown Lancaster into Manheim, Pennsylvania, and you opened up a great Artifice and Mead pub in Manheim. Tell us about that. The beer is exceptionally good.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Not that we would know.
Right.
Yes.
We're going to try it later.
We're seeing the bottle right
Yes.
Yeah, so Artifice Ales and Mead. So it's sort of like the concept of the meadery is like 10th century Britain, where there's a lot of, it's an Old English word, Medulseld, it means mead hall in Old English. And so this was bringing the concept of the mead hall into the future with Artifice. So it's still about hospitality and alcohol and good food and the evolution of what a mead hall is now into the pub.
Where are you located in Manheim?
We're right on Main Street, just north of the square.
Okay, kind of like where Joe Boy's used to be?
So Joe Boy's is just south of the square.
Okay,
Yeah. It's equidistant, just in the reverse direction.
If you're going north, it's on the right-hand side.
Yeah. We have parking, lots of free parking right next to Mill 72 and the Prussian Street Arcade.
And if you wanted some Intermezzo by Stephanie chocolates, you can get that at the Prussian Street Arcade.
Very
Across
nice.
the street from St. Paul's. Right?
That's right. That's right.
So tell us a little more about, because on the beer side, you've gotten into the beer thing exploded about 10 years ago, the microbrew thing. And I've seen a bunch come and go, and I've seen some succeed. Like in Lancaster City, Springhouse just keeps adding new locations.
Right.
So, what are some of the challenges with, going into the beer business today?
Some of the challenges are being realistic about where you fit in the market. And so that positions you to size your brewery to the correct size so that you can support your operation. If you try to buy too much equipment and oversize your stuff, trying to break into distribution models, you have a long road to hoe trying to get there. So knowing what your niche is and filling that niche is the key right now.
So you're basically brewing what you can sell on hand or to go.
Correct, yeah.
In growlers or whatever.
Right.
So you had a pretty dense population in Lancaster City of people that were young and active and drinking something that might be unusual.
When I think of Manheim, that's not what I think of.
No, I'm not even going to go there, but it's a different crowd. Are you seeing a different vibe at the new place?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm learning a lot about who our client base is and what they want from us. And we did a little bit of polling before we opened, and people really want variety. And that's pretty safe to bet on across most markets. You offer variety in something unusual or different, you're going to have people coming back to try what you have time and time again, especially you keep shaking it up and changing things.
I remember when you first started with the Meadery, it had every time I went in, it was there, you had a different selection of meads. Have you settled on? Well, we talked about that first one. Was Red Keep was a big one. I remember that was on maybe both times I was there. What else is there in that kind of thing that draws people in? What kind of flavors are they?
Really, what people are coming for is the total experience.
It's the experience, not the
it's not necessarily a product or the axe throwing, but it's the total package.
Nice.
The atmosphere of the place is just totally relaxed. The music that we play adds to the ambiance because it's
Swedish death metal.
We do have a lot of death metal.
Okay.
We have metal in general that really fits the vibe, as well as classic old school metal.
Bauhaus.
Like Iron Maiden, Zeppelin, that kind of thing. Black Sabbath. And we play a lot of Irish and Celtic music too, because that also fits the vibe too.
In both places or one or the other?
We haven't actually really settled on a music style or genre yet for Artifice. We're still kind of feeling that out.
How long into that are you? It's what?
We're
2
open
years?
5 months now.
5 months. Oh,
Yeah.
so it really just started.
Yeah.
And coming right out of COVID, that had to be a little
Scary.
daring, scary.
It was interesting. Because we had signed our lease on the property April 1st of 2020, thinking, we're 2 weeks into this lockdown and stuff. It's all going to blow over. No big deal.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen. But we felt very strongly that the next move was to just double down, and we're going to dig our way out of this, and people will support us and we'll come out. So far, that's holding true. But consumers' behavior has changed a lot over the last, how long has this been? Like
forever.
Like a year and a half.
A year and a half. Yeah.
So tell us about the difference in the customer behavior, because part of me is like, on the same time frame, I used to live in the city and I was single. And there was about a 10-year period where I was I was the expert when it came to bars in the city of Lancaster. Well, I got married and I moved to Manheim Township, and I thought, I'm going to miss the city. After like 2 weeks of not having my car broken into, I was like, okay, and letting my dogs could run in the yard. I really kind of stopped being a regular at bars anymore. And I would imagine with COVID, with people being home, trying to bring back the regular.
Yes, absolutely.
So how do you bring back the regular to? Because that's where your money.
That's where it comes from,
right?
And word of mouth spreading from people who will frequent semi-regularly, and then they tell their friends or bring their friends with them, and that kind of thing. But our regulars, I really have to give it to them with the Meadery, especially. They're several times a week coming in and supporting us and spending what disposable income that they may have. And some of our folks are elderly that are on fixed incomes, and they still come and hang out, throw axes. They're in our leagues. We have an axe throwing league now that's grown to 25 people. That meets on Monday night, which is pretty amazing. So, and it's without those guys being there week in, week out, it wouldn't happen. So, yeah, but to get back to the original question of consumer behavior, it is a matter of habit. Like you said, you dropped out of the habit of repeating that behavior over and over, and so now your behavior's changed. With COVID and the shutdowns, people's behavior had to change. So now their spending habits are different. A lot of these breweries and places made it so easy for us to get their stuff by ordering it online or ordering delivery or just going to a distributor. So that's what we're seeing is still kind of those types of things are still a popular way for people to get their alcohol. And so we're going to be starting delivery soon. So hoping that people will deliver or call and have us deliver stuff to them.
Suds Hub, or what is that?
That's an awesome name.
There we go. Oh, crap. Quick, Google it.
Go get it.
Mail it to yourself.
Right,
mail it to yourself so we have it on.
Yeah, Suds Hub is great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, there's got to be something,
for... Combine the domain.
There you go. www GoDaddy something.
Yeah, check the GoDaddy domain. Yeah. No, but we have the ability to kind of self-distribute, and so we're going to service our community. That's what we're about anyway. We didn't want to have a brewery that grows to this large scale that is suddenly a regional influence or anything like that. Well, we want to stick to our locals.
There's some sort of and believe me, I'm not. So 2 of you are not from Lancaster originally, or 3 of you. Crap. So there's a historical significance in Lancaster County of having breweries.
Oh, yeah.
There were it's really weird if you look back 150 years ago. You think of Lancaster County, everybody thinks of Amish and the country. But the city of Lancaster had, I don't know how many breweries, distilleries, and licensed whorehouses that the community knew about.
It was popularly known as the Munich of the New World.
Yeah.
That was a famous thing, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really kind of cool that if you can bring that back to to Manheim, because I don't know about Manheim. I'm sure Manheim had their own.
They did. They had a number of small breweries that were very. You're going to talk micro scale operations. I mean, they were servicing their neighborhoods basically, and then maybe trying to branch out into some small deliveries and stuff like that.
Well, back then there wasn't really distribution. I mean, if you were going to have it, you had to make it. That's where it started, and then
they had pails too that you could fill and walk back with a pail.
How far would I get with a pail of beer?
Yeah.
I can't even. I get home with a third of a pail of beer.
I will not name the establishment, but prior to the microbrew phase thing where growlers became a known commodity, the pizza place in Millersville,
which will remain nameless,
is a nice house on the hill. They had for a little while, you could get an empty milk gallon, a gallon of milk, plastic, and they would tap you like a gallon of Old Milwaukee for $3 or something back in the day, and it was a really good bargain. But I think they got shot down because, the LCB wasn't aware of this whole growler business yet. Mm-hmm. And I guess some enterprising microbrewers said, no, this is okay. And now you can buy an alcoholic slushy at the convenience store and drive home. But that's different.
Yeah, they'll put a sticker on it, and that's legal.
Please
now.
don't drink and drive with us.
Yeah.
Follow the money.
All right,
it's very strange.
Let's take a quick break.
Before we leave, why don't you tell us where you are, how they can get a hold of you, if they want to sign up for leagues, that kind of stuff, any of that kind of jazz you want to put out.
Well, the Meadery is on Harrisburg Pike and Mulberry, right down from F&M University. So we have free parking across the street. If you want to find us, social media is the best way. Our website isn't the greatest right now. But if you look up Mead and axe throwing in Lancaster, you'll find us for sure. And then Artifice, if you wanted to Google us, you will also find our listing there. And our social media, give us a follow and a like. We'd really appreciate that. And we're working on a new website for Artifice. But it's artificeales.com is our website for Artifice.
Maybe we could figure out some way to have like a listener appreciation night. Now, we're not going to give you crap for free, but where we could all go and have rent out Willie's place for an evening, or at least the axe throwing lanes.
Somebody should organize that.
I may have some background there.
You may have to delegate that to someone. Practice some delegation skills.
We can live stream it.
Yeah.
And have 165 people looking at it from Alabama to England.
Right.
A bunch of fat Freemasons throwing axes.
Somebody to follow the ambulance to General Oz.
Back in the Viking days, we'd be the first ones to die on the battlefield.
Oh, forget about it.
Well,
I've been all over.
One of Manheim Lodge's old worshipful masters, Barry Thiel, he organized a date night. And so we had a date night, and we gave discounts to our brothers and their spouses to come in.
Shout out to Barry Thiel.
Yeah. So thanks, Brother Barry. That was awesome. Yeah.
All right.
Quick
Now
break.
let's take a break.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
As far back as the mid-1800s, records exist describing the pre-meeting tradition of brethren smoking cigars during and after gatherings. To this day, the practice of smoking cigars remains very much alive in many lodges. This custom is considered a time for brethren to relax, exchange ideas, and enjoy the simplicity and fellowship that is the very essence of our brotherhood. This is what Hiram Solomon Cigars is all about. Our starting principles are to bring Masonic brethren together in the harmony of a good cigar. Pull up a chair, sit back, light up any of our premium cigars, and enjoy the history. Hiram Solomon Cigars can be found at fine cigar retailers. For a complete list, visit hiramandsolomonscigars.com or check them out on social media to find out when they'll be at a live event near you. Hiram Solomon Cigars is pleased to be the official cigar of the Masonic Light Podcast.
In Masonic news today, owing to the absence of a working computer system, the Grand Lodge of Outer Washington has decreed that all Masonic records are to be recorded with quill pen on sheepskin and stored in approved Tupperware containers. Any complaints about this new requirement are to be forwarded to the makers of Lodgeview Masonic Software, LLC. Expect a response to your questions when enough people have requested it. That's the Masonic news. So mote it was.
And we're back. As we come back, we want to say a special thank you to those of you who support this podcast on an ongoing basis, our Patreon supporters.
And how do they do that, Tim?
Well, it's quite easy, Jack. As a matter of fact, you can go to www.patreon.com/Masonic Light Podcast.
Wow.
And for as little as $1 a month.
What? Just $1?
That's like 0.87 euro.
That's right. And actually, we found out that somebody's actually contributing $1.50.
Nice.
We're not sure how they're doing that.
Yeah, I need it. Well, thank you for the extra 50 cents.
I want one $2.73 contributor.
All right.
Let's see if this
Well, we need to figure out.
I challenge you. This is like
how to irritate and lose our customers.
Yeah.
Next year, as a cost of living increase, we should raise everybody up by like 3 cents.
No, it's public radio. We're going to do this until we get matching $2.73.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So just go to.
We do thank you though.
We do thank you very much, and we have now over 100 people, right?
You know, I have no idea.
We got a bunch of people.
I'm focusing on the PGA nightmare that's coming up.
The other PGA. But thank you very much for keeping us on the air, and we greatly appreciate it.
Beautiful downtown Morgantown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Woo! Have fun.
Great car museum there, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They just got a satellite Hollywood casino. It's almost as depressing as the one in York.
Is it open yet? Did they open it yet?
I don't know.
Will it be open for the PGA tomorrow?
So let me get this thing back on the rails. Willie, how about any final comments or things that we haven't brought up that you might want to share with our listeners?
Lancaster County Restaurant Week is coming up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't talked about that.
We haven't talked about
when is that?
Do you have food?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Tell us about your food.
Our food is amazing.
Okay, thank you for that.
That was good. Care to elaborate?
Do you have good Viking foods or?
So
Broiled raven.
we have at the Meadery we have like
Giant turkey legs.
everybody says that.
Deep fried raven. They just don't.
But historically, turkeys came from North America, not from. So,
okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So what kind of food have you got?
Fake turkeys.
So at Artifice, we have an internationally influenced menu. So we have some
French
amazing
fries.
food. Belgian style
Belgian
freedom
waffles.
fries. We serve bulgogi, which is a Korean dish. We have a lot of interesting Asian influences on some of our dishes. We do some Italian food as well. We do features weekly that change all the time. Some German dishes. We always have something that we're doing unique with pretzels. We have creme brulee every week that is different, that changes flavors.
Someone just moaned.
Was that a sound effect?
Moaned?
Josh, did you bring that sound effect in?
Well, first of all, you get to use a torch. You get to play with a torch.
Yeah.
So that's why creme brulee is
torch
fun.
for your dessert? Come on.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
The Italian food, is it Philly cheesesteak?
No, but we do have Philly cheesesteak egg rolls once in a while. This week it's buffalo chicken egg rolls. So we just do a bunch of different. The burgers are amazing.
Okay.
At Artifice.
I mean, the burgers. Yeah,
We're still at Artifice.
We're still at Artifice. At Medulseld, we do pulled pork, which we smoke at Artifice. And we have
Not that kind of smoking. Not that kind of smoking.
the best kind of smoking.
Okay, sorry.
And locally made pretzels and stuff like that. So
That is awesome.
Jokes aside, is there a in Pennsylvania a marijuana-infused hemp or beer on the horizon?
Not here locally. I know it's hard to get past.
Are they any good? The ones that exist? I doubt it.
I've heard people say the Hemperor is pretty good, but I don't care for any of that. I'm not an IPA guy to begin with, and that's like IPA to the nth degree to me. So, yeah.
We're sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Interestingly, one of my favorite podcasts other than this one that I listen to is sponsored by a group called Cornbread Hemp. And so I'm not sure if it's like cornbread that's infused with hemp or hemp that's infused with cornbread. But
I don't know. I have had hemp tea that's really good.
Well, if the guys from Cornbread Hemp would like to sponsor Masonic Light Podcast.
If anybody would like to sponsor.
So they're doing so well with Kentucky